The relentless rains may have stopped for a spell, but the deluge is everywhere. The devastation complete. Huge swaths of land, a full third of the country, now underwater, with millions of Pakistanis forced to scramble for shelter on whatever dry square of land they can find. That reality is barely sinking in. We lost everything in the water. We only escaped with a few things, this man says. Now we sit here out in the open. At the mercy of the elements, the heat stifling. This farmer has been sleeping outside for a week. Only now has he gathered enough supplies to build a meager roof for his family. We have nothing. I can't even feed my children, he says. We need help. That need is acute all across Pakistan's 4 provinces, where thousands of homes and roads are now gone. An estimated $10 billion in damages in a country already in the throes of an economic crisis.
At the moment, our main concern is to save lives.
And aid workers are struggling to keep up and get to those in need.
It's really, really devastating. The infrastructure has been completely decimated. And you know, this is not the only worry. When the water subsides, it's all the waterborne diseases that we're afraid will come.
The United Nations has sent out an urgent call for millions of dollars in international aid for a country that has barely contributed to global emissions and yet is suffering disproportionately from the effects of climate change.
The Pakistani people are facing a monsoon on steroids, the relentless impact of epochal levels of rain and flooding. Today, it is Pakistan. Tomorrow, it could be your country.
But relief is still far off, with the waters of Pakistan's main rivers so swollen and more rain to come later in the week. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
We've got CBC News senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff with us. Johanna, can you walk us through how the changing climate is making monsoon season worse?
Well, David, we know straight up that a warming climate is intensifying the water cycle. Warmer air holds more moisture, and this means more intense rainfall and flooding for some regions, but it's also affecting rainfall patterns like monsoons. And this year, the region has seen a full 8 weeks of unbroken cycles of nonstop torrents. And that means not only flash floods, but river embankments destroyed. So villages that would have normally been protected are getting this massive volume of water. There are, of course, other factors: deforestation, loss of glaciers. It's also a La Nina year. The natural oscillations in the Pacific Ocean can mean more monsoon rain. But we now have the tools in place that can rapidly assess exactly how much of a factor climate change has been. Climate scientists right now are working on figuring out just how much more likely climate change has made this event. And I suspect the chances of it happening again in the future are much more likely. According to a 2021 study, global heating is making this monsoon more intense and more erratic. About a 1 degree Celsius rise in global temperature is leading to 5% more rain. But David, the good news, at least for now, is that we are nearing the end of this year's monsoon season.
Oh, indeed. Johanna Wagstaff, thanks very much.
You're welcome.